Well, these are scenes from Hartford, Connecticut, just down the road from us, as the American Outlaws got together, as they do often, to celebrate what was a big win for the U.S. men's national team as they officially booked their spot in the round of 32 of this FIFA World Cup. And if you don't want to take my word for it, just take the official FIFA account's word for it, as they confirmed what we knew, that this 2-0 win over Australia, making it 2 wins on the trot for the USA, has booked their spot in the next round. All right, back with my crew here now, because now that we know that the USA has qualified, Mexico has qualified, Canada still with some scores to settle, but we are expecting them now to get out of the group. They did have a massive win over Qatar, following up what was a disappointing draw, I guess we could say, for them, even though they came from behind. Mexico not doing it pretty, but still getting the job done. And of course, the USA getting it done pretty, getting it done ugly, but getting it done. So of all the host nations, Jürgen, who has looked the best?
Oh no, the U.S. team looked the best by far. I mean, obviously, huge compliment to Canada, 6 goals putting behind Qatar, but Qatar lost 2 players. You know, they were down to 9 men, which, I mean, shouldn't reduce now the compliments for Canada. It's fantastic that they are already also in the next round. In Mexico, you need Mexico to go far in this tournament because of their fantastic fans, because of the hype in their country. And they're going to grow as well now over the next couple of weeks. I mean, having all 3 nations in the knockout phase is humongous, it's huge. But I think what the U.S. team has done in these 2 games is just outstanding. And it gets noticed now. And I think this is really a big deal. It gets noticed around the world. This team gets recognized now for what they are doing. And the compliments coming from all over, from Europe, South America, or Africa, wherever, they all say, what is this kind of a U.S. team? They can take it far. They are really inspiring their nation. They're inspiring their fans, and it's attractive football. It's attacking-minded football. So I think, you got to give the U.S. Definitely the number 1 spot between these 3. But it's fantastic that all 3 nations are going in the knockout phase. The tournament is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, you really feel the sense of belief from the different fans from all of the different 3 co-host nations. Kasey, but who's impressed you the most on the pitch?
Yeah, I mean, I like the way the U.S. has been able to do both matches. Have that first match being super dynamic, very explosive in the attack and really exciting. And then in a little bit different feel in this match, just kind of be a little more pragmatic, keep the clean sheet, and just get the result. Yeah, I mean, would they love to have every game where you're just flying and creating chances and scoring goals? Of course, but there's times when you got to respect the opponent and understand what the game gives you. And I think today was one of those games. So we've seen the U.S. be able to get 3 points in 2 different ways, and I think they'll learn a lot from that. I also think that their next opponent is going to be the big test. I think that's going to be to see, against a more difficult opponent, kind of how can they play? How can they bring both those 2 different styles against a more difficult European opponent?
Herc, is it the U.S. for you as well?
Yes, but not by a lot. I think barely. And when I say barely is not only in their play, but because the group of Canada, I think, is weaker. And I think Bosnia and the little they did against Canada in that game and the overwhelming presence of Canada showed me a lot, but Qatar didn't show me anything.
Yeah.
So it's the U.S. who has had better opponents, better of the play, just barely, but Canada has really impressed me. And this is...
Is it because Jonathan David got his hattie?
Oh, that's part of it. This is only the 3rd ever World Cup.
Yeah.
They just got their first World Cup win, and they got it with a 6-0 drumming. And Jonathan David is now at the top of the Golden Boot race. And then you look at their team and how intense they play, they rival the U.S. men's national team in intensity. It's a well-coached team. They've got a whole country behind them, just like the U.S. I don't think anybody wants to play any of these 2 teams, whether you're a big team or not. You just rather not have that headache. They've shown me that as well. But I think the U.S., that first half versus Paraguay, was overwhelming. And I like what Jürgen said. The rest of the world is talking about it. When you talk to other pundits, when you see other news stations in different countries, they talk to you about that U.S. men's national performance against Paraguay.
Yeah.
So that's still number 1. But there was a ranking right now. It would be 1 U.S., 2 Canada, and 3 Mexico, even though Mexico is the only team that has not given up a goal, which is odd to say.
JJ, how do you see it?
Yeah, I think everyone is on point. I think we can say that the US was so far what I saw, or what we all saw, the best team from when you watch the games. Canada is a team that has a lot of power, a lot of energy, who I think can be a really dangerous team in this tournament. And then in Mexico, I'm not so behind. You know, I think there's a lot. Herc said a lot of changes. It's a different team than it was back in the days. Even the game against South Korea, it was not that I say, oh, they pushed so much and they showed. Like when you look at really, we talked 45 minutes, 65 minutes with the US. Then you watch Canada, how they played in the first game, or now the 6-0 against Qatar. There's a lot of energy, there's a lot of power. And when you look at Mexico, back in the days, that was Mexico too. Like we talked about it. If you look at it, they were booed the first 45 minutes. So and then the South Korea goalkeeper makes a mistake. It's not that Mexico played them completely on the wall and it was the better team. It was a mistake of a goalkeeper where they scored and they made for them to go through. We don't know what happens now in the next phases because I think, like Jürgen said, it would be good. Of course, Mexico is always good with they're a host too. They have an amazing fan base, but I think it's the same with Canada and the same with the US.
Jermaine just wants a little fiesta mexicana. Jermaine, just say you want some taquitos, some margaritas.
I always love playing in Mexico. The Mexican fans, I think they bring something to the game.
Hey, all right. Well, Kasey, Keller, thank you so much for joining us today. I think I hear a helicopter somewhere behind you. I know that's your ride.
That's his ride.
Back to this side so you can get back to work with us.
My perch here on top of Seattle BMW. Nice little view, and then
no
the
free
helicopter
pub.
circling.
Oh, my days. How the other half live. How the other half live. Thank you so much, Kasey. All right, well, there's a break in the NWSL calendar right now, but when we are back, it will be on July 5th, Boston Legacy Bay FC on ESPN.